Hey, Freedom 95 listeners. So, on today's show, we talk about this executive order that Trump signed yesterday that addresses the issue of illegal immigrants being separated, families being separated when they are detained along the U.S. southern border. And so, we actually take the time to go through the executive order and talk about the contents of the executive order. Versus just going with the talking points of the day, which I've learned is kind of where we are in today's political climate. Unfortunately, nothing gets resolved whenever we just stick with the rhetoric of the moment, the narrative of the moment, which is Trump is a Nazi. The camps along the border are Trump camps that resemble concentration camps. The U.S. is Nazis and all sorts of things like that. So we actually look into the meat of this, and we look at the balance of powers. We do a kind of a Civics 101 session today where we look at the responsibilities of each branch of government, right? The executive branch actually enforces the laws. They don't write the law. That's the responsibility of Congress. The legislative branch. We also look at the courts, the judicial branch, and we talk about their role of interpreting and applying the law. So anyway, we look at the bigger picture here, and we break down some of the some of the narratives, the stereotypes, the anti-Trump nonsense that we hear. And so we look at this comprehensively, and we try to put some perspective on this by looking at that executive order, which I'm convinced most pundits and those in the media haven't read or don't want to articulate the contents of that executive order clearly and concisely, because that doesn't go along with their narrative, their desire to see this president, diminished, stopped, things like that. So we talk about that today in the larger context of the role of government, who's responsible for what, and how we can actually fix this mess, which, as Trump points out, is through congressional action, which is ultimately what's going to have to happen here. But this is far, far from over. But that's what we discussed today, guys. I appreciate, as always, you listening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.